15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone to another video from American Soccer FPL UCL Fantasy Matchday 2. Jason, how has your UCL Fantasy been?
I'd say overall pretty good. Could have been better. Could have had Angelino on my team, but didn't quite call that one. But otherwise, pretty solid.
Yeah, Angelino was definitely the big talking point for Matchday 1. But on this Matchday 2 preview, we'll be talking a little bit further about our teams, how we did, our strategies for Matchday 2. Jason also has some information about Wildcard and Limitless to keep an eye out on. We'll also talk a little bit about our Dream Team recommendations. I know a lot of people are Dream Teaming and a lot of people are, Limitless, not... It's our Dream Team recommendation for people that are playing the Limitless card. And there's also some differentials for people that are playing the Wild card. And we'll also look ahead to Matchday 3/4. Before we start, just want a quick shout out to Fantasy Football Scout. We are part of their academy. They do post consistent articles on the UEFA Champions League, so please check their site out. Links will be in the description. Alright, so Jason, tell me a little bit what you saw from Matchday 1.
Alright, starting off, Lazio. Pretty impressive performance against Dortmund. Beat them 3-1. The big man, Ciro Immobile, was on the score sheet for Dortmund. Haaland was on the score sheet as well. So two great attacking assets, got us some returns. I was a little surprised about the result, but it's not bad. I think both teams might warrant investment going forward when they have some decent fixtures coming up. Secondly, Barcelona, their attack dominated against Ferencváros. Messi got some returns. Fati got a return. Overall, it was a pretty solid match, except for that PK red card, which then resulted in the PK, which blew the clean sheet, unfortunately. But otherwise, it was all good for Barca. Big stunner was Man United beating PSG in Paris. Rashford and Bruno on the score sheet there, and Martial on the wrong net, unfortunately for him. But yeah, that was an interesting match. I think PSG looked a little, rusty after the international break or whatever. Neymar, he just seemed a little off the pace. I think they'll be a lot better going forward, but that was definitely not the greatest match I've seen PSG play. Moving on to Juventus. No Cristiano Ronaldo, but didn't matter. They won 2-0 with an Alvaro Morata brace. Pretty solid match overall from Juve. I will mention on the weekend they were missing a lot of their defenders. Chiellini was out. I believe Bonucci came off injured. So I'd keep an eye on that going into match week 2. I haven't seen any updates on that other than that they're questionable. So that'd be pretty big when they play Barcelona. One more match I want to touch on is Chelsea and Sevilla. Played out a 0-0 draw. Why that was important for Chelsea. Their new keeper Mendy played. And he's an immediate upgrade on Kepa and really gives their clean sheet viability a big injection that they needed. They also obviously played Man United on the weekend and had a 0-0 draw for them as well, playing 3 at the back. Mendy had another great game against United, so I think Chelsea's clean sheet viability going forward looks pretty nice after that. And
Right.
Sevilla had no Koundé due to COVID. Looks like he's going to be out again this week, but they showed they can get a result without him as well.
Right, no Koundé for Matchday 2. Juventus, Chiellini is doubtful. He didn't play at all on the weekend. Another thing would be De Ligt. I believe he's been ruled out for Matchday 2 as well. And then Bonucci is questionable as well. And then in terms of Chelsea, yeah, they look really good in terms of clean sheets. So people like Chilwell could be a great option. So just going to talk about Real Madrid, and they had a huge shocking loss to Shakhtar Donetsk. There could be a lot of key gems on that Shakhtar team. Obviously, Real Madrid, they had a huge win in the Clásico. It was nice seeing Sergio Ramos come back. So we could see a lot of great results from Real Madrid in the Champions League with Ramos healthy. Next up, Atalanta pretty much dominated this Midtjylland team. A collective effort, and then it was also nice to see Ilicic make an appearance as well. Duvin Zapata had a huge game too. Bayern, not extremely surprising, but they did dominate Atletico collectively. Coleman was a big scorer, and it was also interesting to note that Lewandowski blanked in this game, so people that didn't have him got pretty lucky. Lastly, Liverpool Ajax, at least in the Matchday 1, there wasn't too much from them. It was just an own goal. I think Mane had the assist. But over the weekend, Ajax had a huge game, 13-0 against VVV in the Dutch league. And Traore had 5 goals. So even though they had a bad attack in the Matchday 1 over the weekend, their form went right up. So definitely a team to look out for. I could see some gems on this team too. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our teams and how we did. Unfortunately, I had a pretty poor week. I had a lot of, you can see I had Gnabry. He was out with COVID, but he does seem to be in the run for the lineup. He's been called up for Matchday 2. COVID negative now. Koundé, like we already talked, he is out Matchday 2. Luckily, I did have Sportiello with a clean sheet, and I was unlucky again. Hours before the match, if I recall, Hakimi tested positive, and he was ruled out. So I had a lot of difficulties with this Matchday 1. Aguane, I thought he was fairly expected to start, but he's been benched. It was really nice to see Ansu Fati, like Jason mentioned earlier. He had an incredible game. Haaland had a goal from Reina, which helped me out as well. In terms of what I'm planning on doing with my Matchday 2, this is my -8 hit squad. I haven't made that move quite yet because, again, remember in UEFA Champions Fantasy, you pretty much have up until the last minute to make those changes, so you can check out those lineups on those early games, which is pretty important. But here I have 4 changes here. I brought in Ramos, as well as Hernandez, Lewandowski, and De Ketelaere. I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. For Gnabry, Aguero, Koundé, and Nguene. I haven't made the adjustments just yet, but because I am waiting to see the lineups. But it's looking like I'm rather take a hit, even maybe a -8, than play my wild card this game week. Personally, I'm not quite ready to make that adjustment. I'm not ready to, play any kind of cards yet. I'm not comfortable yet. I kind of want to hold them, see what's happening. I just don't have enough research yet. Lewandowski, he had a hat trick over the weekend. Bayern are incredible form, and they also had a clean sheet too, so that's why I have Hernandez too. I'm looking to see Haaland as a Tuesday. captain, and then Lewandowski Wednesday if Haaland doesn't perform.
I think Lewandowski plays on Tuesday this week.
Oh, it's the other way around. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Changed from the first week.
Exactly. And then I have faith in Hakimi. I think Inter will do. They won last time they played Shakhtar. They won 5-0. So I could see big things from Hakimi, and even if you have Lukaku, I would definitely hold him and even consider purchasing him too. Someone I'm thinking about, but when you say Haaland, Mbappe, and Lewandowski, it's hard to add Lukaku to that. One thing also to note is Kylian Mbappe. He came on around the 72nd minute over the weekend, and he scored a brace. And then after the in a post-interview, or pre-interview Champions League for Matchday 2, he was talking about how disappointed he was in losing against Manchester United, and he said that they're really going to make it up this week, and really their coach is under pressure. I expect huge things from Paris this game match day. Jason, what do you think about me taking this -8 hit? You think it's worth it?
I mean, I think you'll want to wait and see what happens with Gnabry's COVID, if he's able to play tomorrow or not, since you'll know that before the game week starts. I think if he does play, you keep him in, and then you can take away some of that negative. That'd just be what I would do personally.
Yeah,
If he's out though, then I agree that you probably need to make some big moves, especially with a low-scoring game week 1. You got to make up some ground now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I might just kind of, if I do have Gnabry, I might not have that double with Bayern attack and choose someone else over Lewandowski. Or I could just kind of maybe play both and hope they both return. But one thing you do have to worry about with these big teams, we don't know how many. You know that these guys are playing every week, twice in a week with domestic and Champions League. So I'm not 100% sure how many minutes they'll get either. All right, so Jason, tell me about your team and how you did.
Yeah, overall I was pretty happy. Like I said, it could have been a little bit better, but I think overall it went okay for me. Messi is my captain. He delivered a goal and assist, so I was pretty happy with that. I'm going to thank him for that by transferring him out for Lewandowski in game week 2. So sorry, Leo. Papu Gomez got a goal. He's going to stay in my team. Haaland also got a goal. He'll stay in my team. Midfield-wise, I had a couple of ball winners. He got some points, and Jorginho and Barrios. So pretty happy with that. Sterling won a PK, but overall City kind of disappointed a little bit. They have a pretty decent fixture against Marseille in week 2, so I think I'm going to keep the faith with Sterling for now. And Fati obviously delivered against Ferencvaros, but he's drawing up Juventus next. So we'll wait and see what Juve's defense looks like, but overall it's kind of a fade for Barca for that match, I think. Defensively, my Atalanta wingback Gosens got 7 points with a clean sheet. So he's got Ajax next. I think he's a hold for me just due to his attacking potential. Varane has an ugly game, had an own goal, lost by a pretty decent margin against Shakhtar. But they have a pretty nice fixture coming up, so I think I'll hold on to him and see what he can do, especially with Ramos coming back into the team. Same with Felipe and Atletico. Very tough first fixture, but now Atletico has 4 decent fixtures all in a row, so I think he's a hold for me. Keeper-wise, I kind of rotated Neto and Sa and getting the clean sheet. Thanks for that. Bench, Florenzi started, disappointing, but I like him going forward. Onguene, like you mentioned, now we thought he was hopefully going to start. Well, we knew there was a chance he would get benched. And I saw he had scored a goal in the league, and he started the weekend before the game week, so I was really hopeful he would continue playing after that, but obviously it was not meant to be. So too bad on that. Also too bad Koundé's still out, so I can't transfer him as a straight swap. So I think Nguyen might have to stay in my team just for a lack of other options. So transfer-wise, my strategy for week 2 right now is Messi to Lewandowski. And then I'm going to wait and see what Bayern's lineup is because they have so many midfield options that could play or get benched. But I kind of have my eye on going Fatih to Coman, if that's a good move. And then I'll kind of keep an eye on if Sane gets in the team or if Gnabry gets in the team and kind of go from there. But those are the 2 main moves I'm eyeing up right now. Beraht, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so you said Lewandowski, and then who was your second transfer again?
It depends on Bayern's lineup. Right now, I'm thinking Fatih to Coman.
Okay.
But I want to make sure he's starting before I make that move. And if he's not, I'll see what else is available, but I haven't fully decided on it yet. So I'm really hoping Coman plays.
Yeah, right now I'm really low on. So I obviously have some little bit of bias with Inter being an Inter fan, but when you tell me, De Ligt is out, Bonucci is questionable, Chiellini is questionable, a new manager who's not doing well. He just drew against a team that's coming up from relegation, and then I see someone like Ansu Fati in the Classico. I'd say keep Fati. Juventus they're really cold right now when it comes to especially the defense, in my opinion. Well, not especially the defense, but just overall, I'm pretty cold on them. I don't know what's going on with that team. They're definitely not in form, I'll tell you that. So I would hold Barca. I would consider, and you definitely, definitely Lewandowski, definitely. In terms of your midfield transfer, I'm not sure, but I would keep Fati. We already kind of talked about with Atalanta and Ajax. Gosens obviously is always going to get attacking returns, but Ajax, they could be scoring. So just something to consider. But overall, I like the shape of your team. I like that you got that whole, like, I'm doing the Haaland Lewandowski. I think that's probably going to be the most common thing.
Mm-hmm.
One player neither of us have is going to be Mohamed Salah. So if you can somehow find a way to get him, I'd even say Salah from Sterling. It may be my bet. Might be my opinion.
I think your mic went out. I can't really hear you.
Okay.
Don't know if the viewers can still hear you, but it might be a Discord issue.
Yeah, just little Discord, some Wi-Fi issues. I'm on a little bit, not really Wi-Fi, but not direct line either right now. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we're good.
All right, cool. Yeah. I was just gonna say, I'd probably say, I don't know if you heard about. I'd say Mohamed Salah is someone neither of us have, and I would really consider Salah to Sterling. Sterling to Salah. Maybe you might think that's a little bit too horizontal of a move, but City's form in the Premier League doesn't look great either.
Yeah, that's true. So if I kept Fati, Sterling would definitely be the guy I'd probably get rid of in my midfield. So I can't really afford a lot with any of my other guys.
Yeah.
So I do think Sterling to Salah could be a good move. If I want to keep Fati and all the Bayern guys I want are benched, that could be a pretty good idea there.
Yeah, overall you did well, man. 76 points is nothing bad at all, and your team looks pretty well set up.
Yeah, so one Angelino away from a decent game week.
Exactly, yeah, Angelino, or Angelino, however you, I believe that might be the more correct way to pronounce it, but he had an incredible game week. He had a lot of great attacking returns. You see him almost playing at a left wing. And then this weekend he was also playing pretty much at a left wing. No attacking returns from him over the weekend. But what I just say about him is... actually, I left it. That's okay. He did, when in Champions League, he had two shots in the box, and they were both goals. So if you got, definitely, I would keep Angelino regardless if you got him. Pretty much throughout the whole group stage.
Even though he's got United and PSG over his next 4 games.
I'm not worried about I'm not worried about either defense. At least not yet.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to our dream team. A little bit different. This is more a specific UCL fantasy thing we wanted to go over because a lot of people are, like we say, playing their Limitless or playing their Wildcard. So, Jason, tell me a little bit about the forward picks.
All right, so all you Limitless people out there, our top picks for this right now, I think Lewandowski is an easy first pick. Not much needs to be said there. Erling Haaland against Zenit. He's on fire, scored in the first Champions League match, scored on the weekend as well. Looks in great form. And then the aforementioned Kylian Mbappe as well. Scored a brace in the weekend after being rested for most of the match. Looks like he's ready to go. Neymar could be an alternative to Mbappe if you want to get cheeky and have a little differential. But personally, I would just stick with Mbappe.
Yeah, Mbappe is more central, so...
Yeah, he's a bit safer pick for me.
Neymar's on pens, though. That's the only thing.
That is true, too. Yeah, that could be a changer.
And, I mean, maybe there's still, like, a slight chance the Italian from Everton... Sorry, he's being loaned.
Moise Kean.
Yeah, Moise Kean. There's still a slight chance he might play a central role. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's where he started over the weekend.
Yeah, but I assume they just did that before rotation to give Mbappe a rest. But yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they played Mbappe on the right and then Moise Kean in the center.
Yeah.
Let me take over Lukaku. Obviously, Inter, he scored a brace. And then against Shakhtar last time, I want to say it was in the Europa League. He either had a brace or a hat trick.
Yeah, Europa League semifinals, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So he's been consistent in Europe, not specifically the Champions League, but Europa League. And Matchday 1, he's been consistent goal scorer. So a nice little differential is maybe someone if you want to take a punt on, I'd say go for it. At least for this match day, but after this you do have to know they're playing Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Luis Suarez, one of the best finishers in Europe against Salzburg. It seems like another great differential. I like his price too at 10. It's definitely someone to consider. Jason, tell me a little bit about the midfielders.
All right, so you already told me I should go to Salah, which obviously I can't do without doing another move since he's 1 point higher than Sterling. So we'll see what I can do there. I still might figure it out later, but I would like to get him in for his match this week. So he's probably the top midfielder. For Bayern Munich, first pick here is Thomas Muller because I think he's the safest one. But like I said, with them playing the early match, you might just want to see the lineup first and kind of go from there. I think any one of Muller, Coman, Sane, Gnabry, whoever starts, is probably going to be a pretty good pick to have. So really, they're kind of all interchangeable in that spot. Sterling, I think he is the pick for City. Kevin De Bruyne is just coming back from his latest injury, came off the bench over the weekend. Kun Aguero's now out with a hamstring injury, so there's not a whole lot of attacking talent there. So City has looked a little off the pace, but if something good happens, there's a good chance Sterling will be involved. I still think he's a pretty solid pick. Maybe not as good as he could be, though, if they had Kevin De Bruyne firing on all cylinders right now. And then after that, we already mentioned PSG is a great match, and they're looking to get back on track. Angel Di Maria would be my midfielder of choice for them. He always seems to turn up well in the Champions League when they need him to, and this should be a good spot for him. After that, now we get a little more into the differential territory. So like Jadon Sancho, you could do a Dortmund double up with him and Haaland versus Zenit. That could be a pretty decent pick there if you're on Limitless. And then for Lazio, if you want a big differential, I think you could consider Luis Alberto. Not many players in Europe create more chances than this guy. He's on a lot of set pieces. Scored a screamer over the weekend in Serie A. He's in pretty good form right now. So I think if you're looking for a differential, that could be a good way to go.
Yeah, Luis Alberto, typically, like when Lazio is in Europe, they have been poor. You can tell that they mainly focused on domestic leagues. This year, it was shockingly different that Matchday won what they did to Dortmund, and specifically Ciro Immobile. He had so many people, who say he's not at that world-class level because he can't do it at an international stage for Italy. But to see him doing the Champions League was pretty impressive. A great pick here, Luis Alberto, one of the guys that is going to be Lazio's key passer. Sancho, I can agree with this, but he's been a little bit off form recently. If you want to take a little bit of a punt, I have Giovanni Reina, more of a budget pick. Obviously, you don't have to worry about that for dream teams, but if you're wildcarding, just consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're limitless, Mo Salah, Sterling, Mueller, that's all right. I mean, Mueller or a winger. Personally, if I see Leroy Sané, I would pick him if he's starting. All right, let me talk a little bit about the defenders. Sergio Ramos, he's on pens, he's on free kicks. To me, he's the best captain in Europe. That's controversial. Huge Classical win. I think he'll do the job. Then Kimmich, for sure, clean sheets. He might even be. Very likely clean sheet. Likely to play advanced. We see him get in on assist action and goals. A great option. I wouldn't be afraid to double up on Bayern Munich. Hernandez, Alaba, Pavard, possibly all good options too.
So the only problem with Bayern Munich is they have so many players across so many positions, and you can only pick 3.
So you have to, that's definitely something you have to think about. If you're on Limitless, you should pick 3.
Oh, for sure,
yeah. I would say the same thing about. I might have to say the same thing about Liverpool. If you're on Limitless, 3. Salah, Mane, and then Robertson or TAA. One of those options, and there's also Allison too. We forgot to put him here because he's just healthy again. So these guys, Andy Robertson, possibly. I know it's questionable. Most people will say that he's had a better season in the Premier League, but Trent, we know what he's done in the past, and he's on more set pieces. So that, and like free kicks. So someone you should. If I were on Limitless, I'd have double. I'd Robertson and TAA. Trippier, and then Jason, tell me about Trippier and Marquinhos.
Yeah, so Trippier, basically, I wanted an Atletico Madrid defender for this fixture, and he seems to be the best attacking option they have. It's kind of close between him and Lodi, the left back, but in the end, I went with Trippier. He just gets more crosses, and he has some input on free kicks as well. So I think he's just slightly more likely to get attacking returns, so he'd be my pick for Atletico Madrid. Marquinhos was out injured for a while. He returned for PSG at the weekend and started in midfield. So he's already playing out of position further up the field, which is great. He wins a lot of balls. Sometimes even gets on headers on set pieces as well. So I think of the PSG defenders, he'd be my pick of the bunch.
Lastly, we'll talk a little bit about the goalkeepers. I think one thing, whenever I could see all 4 of these goalkeepers getting clean sheets. One thing you should definitely consider when you talk goalkeepers is saves. So when you look at a team like Atletico Madrid, Jan Oblak might not have as many saves as someone like a Keylor Navas, where PSG is playing a little bit more higher up the pitch. You know that the other team's going to get some shots on target. Just something to consider. If I had to pick two for this game week, I would probably go with Navas and Neuer. Jason, how about yourself? Do they play on different days, right? I believe so.
Yeah, I'd have to check to confirm the days on that.
Right.
But yeah, between these four, it's tough. They're all like such great options. Just find two that play on different days and call it good. That's probably the main thing. For me personally, if I had to pick my top option, man, it's close. It'd either be Neuer, but I probably would go with Oblak as my top choice. But it's all close between the four.
Yeah, so I know Bayern plays tomorrow. Atletico plays tomorrow. And Bayern and PSG plays Wednesday. Yeah, so Navas and Neuer play opposite days. Okay.
Okay, so you want, and then Thibaut Courtois is tomorrow as well. Then correct?
Courtois is tomorrow as well against Borussia
Okay,
Mönchengladbach.
so you want. Okay, so basically you want one of Neuer, Courtois, Oblak to pair with Keylor Navas to get different days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
That's the key then.
That's obviously something if you guys don't know already, you should definitely be thinking about. Specifically, the defenders and goalkeepers have a good mix between that Tuesday, Wednesday, because you can make subs. Okay, I think that just about wraps it up for this game week or match week. If you guys like the video, please, comments are welcome, subscriptions are very much welcome, and likes on the video. We really appreciate how our first match week preview went. Really appreciate the numbers and the comments and everyone that took part in making such a successful video. Jason, any other comments?
Yeah, real quick, I'll just say, so this is our dream team for game week 2. Next week for game week 3, I think is when I'm going to play my wild card. We're going to have a wild card special for that one as well. And then also maybe do a limitless team for that week as well.
Okay.
Real quick on the chip strategy, I'll just cover this. So I like wild card in game week 3, because game week 3 and 4 are the same fixtures, so you just pick the good ones out of there. One wrench in there, though, is that the international break is after game week 3. So who knows how many injuries and COVID positives could happen, so it's a little risky. But my thought is I'll have my Limitless chip to play in week 4 if things get really bad. Otherwise, I play Limitless in week 5. That's kind of my strategy right now.
I see. Currently, I don't have a specific strategy. I am taking a -8 right now. I might decide just to play my wild card instead. Or I might just go with a -4 if Gnabry starts. I'm not sure yet. I could see myself doing a Limitless. I actually could see myself doing Limitless Matchday 4 because I'd have a good scout from Matchday 3 from the prior teams.
That's true, yeah.
But it's all kind of up in the air. In terms of when I want a wild card, even that, I don't think there's a specific great time to wild card, but I will say in the match days, for the group stages, that's probably going to be your best bet to do the Limitless. I see a lot of people doing Limitless even this match day, and I think it's not a bad idea at all.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you want to add, Jason, before we close out?
No, I think we're good. Yeah, like I said, pretty solid game week 1. Looking forward to match week 2. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll get some more data to kind of pour over after that's done, and then get ready for wild cards and Limitless coming up in game week 3.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right.